Welcome to another podcast of our Drivers of Innovation series at Friedrich Naumann Foundation. My name is Armin Reinhardt and today we have JP Reimann with us. Hey JP, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for inviting me, Armin.
Yes, thanks to hear. So you're working in fintech now, in a city that is very much about banking. And I feel you're one of the prototypes of workers here in Hong Kong, like having a financial background, having a background in education around the world, speaking a couple of languages. So could you tell us a bit more about what your work is about in a fintech and how did you end up there?
I work for FinFabric, which is a so-called fintech company which stands for financial technology. We build solutions for financial institutions with new and innovative technologies. We also offer advisory services. My background is in compliance and regulation. I studied English law, which is very handy for Hong Kong because the legal system here is based on the English system. So that helps me to work in Hong Kong in this field. And I was in compliance consulting for several years. And I'm now very happy to be able to use everything that I've learned during the past few years and apply that to the fintech field. I wasn't really looking for a job in fintech, but we got along very well. I liked their business model. I liked their experience, their energy, their vision. And then because of my background in compliance and regulation, they saw an opportunity to work together. And this is how it all started.
So you were not working in a startup before that?
No, I wasn't.
So you have the experience of working in a more traditional environment in finance and startup environment.
If you were to ask our co-founder and CEO, Alex Medana from France, if we are a startup, he might not use that word. Instead, he may use a German word, Mittelstand. So for those who don't know the word, it's a word used for those medium to small-sized companies in Germany. They're often with a very long tradition and they can be actually quite big. So maybe this isn't where we are at the moment, but that's our vision.
Your experience from coming from this more traditional organizations or companies, what do you like about your work environment now, working in a startup or in a Mittelstand, Mittelstandsunternehmen? What is the difference and what do you like about it? Why?
A lot of what defines a startup applies to us. So we are a small team, we are a young company, we offer very flexible working arrangements. So for example, if we don't have a meeting, you can work from home or wherever you want, which also suits me as a new dad, of course. Thanks very much. So that's definitely something that attracted me to FinFabric. That is definitely an advantage compared to many other big companies where you're expected to be there from 9 to 6, even if it's just to show your face and show that you sit there. That's definitely something very good about a company like FinFabric. And you are given a lot of freedom. You can drive and start your own projects, which I'm doing. And you're given a lot of liberty in terms of how you schedule your week, your day, your style of work. That's very different from other big companies, especially in Hong Kong.
What is the reason that your company is based in Hong Kong?
All of us and all of the founders who are not from Hong Kong, so one is French, Alex, the CEO of Florian is from Austria, and our CTO Marcel, he's from the Netherlands. They all had this desire to start something on their own. They got along well. They shared the same goals and ideas. And maybe it was a coincidence, but it happened in Hong Kong. So that's why they started it here. And of course, Hong Kong is very favorable to starting a business. It's easy. You can read that in the news every year that Hong Kong is highly ranked for entrepreneurship. And I can confirm that from my experience. And Hong Kong is one of the top financial centers in the world, of course. So there's a large potential client base for us. And those are all factors that played into.
You also not just lived in Hong Kong, but in China before. You traveled a lot. What are things that you came across in Asia and Hong Kong that you liked?
So yes, when I finished school in Germany, I went to China, to Beijing, to learn Chinese for a year. After that, I went to the UK to study, where I met my wife, and she happened to be from Hong Kong. Hong Kong is an amazing city. You have beaches, you have mountains, you have great infrastructure, you have great food, friendly people. It's in a lot of ways it's well organized, which suits Germans like us. And there's so much to do. It's a great place to be.
What kind of advice would you give a startup, either founder or somebody who wants to work in a startup, coming to Asia or coming to Greater China area?
Meet people who work in startups. Build relationships with people who work in startups. Go to events, and there are lots of them here in Hong Kong. Meta is a great place, for example. We work here in Wan Chai, and there's another one in Causeway Bay. There are other such shared working places where you can meet people who work in startups, be curious, be flexible, be a bit patient. Maybe you won't find immediately what you're looking for. That's what I would advise.
Disruption is very often about technology, about a new thing that nobody saw coming. If you had one free wish on picking a new product or a new technology for yourself that's not yet invented, something that's still in the future, what kind of product or technology would you pick?
The answer to that, again, is more solutions and products in RegTech, in regulatory technology. I work in the compliance and regulatory field. However, RegTech is something new. And while there are a lot of solutions already available, a lot of them are at an early stage. And there's so much more room for development and improvement. Almost all companies and institutions in this world, there are still a lot of manual processes, a lot of paperwork, a lot of repetitive work for many departments in many organizations. And this is where I see a lot of room for innovation, for improvement, for opportunities where new technologies can make our lives and work better.
If you look at yourself in 2022, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
I don't see anything that would speak against staying in Hong Kong. I expect the opportunities only to grow and our business to grow. So I think Hong Kong would still be a great place. However, the products and solutions and services we offer and work on, they would be applicable to anywhere else in this world. We could easily move to Europe or anywhere else and do almost this exact same thing. So there are lots of options.
Okay. Thank you very much, JP. You're a real driver of innovation.
Thank you, Armin.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks
My
to the
pleasure.
audience for being with us, and keep on being drivers of innovation, and until our next podcast episode.